Hello and welcome, everyone, YouTube audience and beyond. This is a little experiment we're doing set in the Dungeon Delve Scales universe where we're helping some wizards find some new spells because that's what they do. I'm Michael. I'm running this train wreck of an experience. It'll be fun or dangerous. Unclear at this time. Who else we got?
You
Hi,
first, Zyllana?
sure. Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I'm going to be playing Zyllana Cammi. She is my Tiefling Wizard Cleric combo. She is 4 levels in Wizard, 3 levels in Cleric, and her overall goal is to become a uh, professional enchanter. So she wants to be able to enchant items and make items magical or make magical items more magical by imbuing them with spells. So that's kind of her overall goal, which is why her expanding her spell book is very, very crucial for her future career.
Awesome. And Taco, let's have your intro as well.
Hello, my name is Rock. I like to stay in cold, dark places if I can help it. But Tabitha doesn't like that, so I'm in the guild hall. Might as well go see what I can find in terms of spells. I am a wizard, evocation school to be specific. But going outside isn't really my thing.
Got it. Nice. All right, and as you're both sitting at a table in the lower level of the guild hall, it's pretty empty at this moment. You're comparing notes from your respective spell books. Let's have you each make a perception roll to see if you notice something perhaps slightly different about your spell book.
Perception 17.
I'm too uncomfortable to notice anything but the situation that I've been thrust into.
So let's say as you turn a page, Mackenzie, Zan will see on the kind of like back corner, very faintly, there's kind of some spidery-like writing that's appearing, not in her hand. Let's see here. What would be an exotic language that Zyllana would understand? So not common, but something more fun. Okay, so it's written.
If she didn't recognize it, she would cast Comprehend Language.
I think it'd be one that you would recognize. So in Infernal, it says in as formal a kind of stock letter introduction as you might have seen. So, dearest, most esteemed wizard cleric folk of the esteemed tiefling bloodline of XYZ, going back to your parentage for 9 generations. The humble Archmistress Jenizen requests your presence for a magical task. And then a small kind of silver jade covered pen appears next to your spellbook. And you can see that it's got the same kind of ink that's been written here in Infernal. And as you're seeing these letters appear, they then start to disappear from your book as well. So once you've read them, they're no longer appearing in your book.
Ooh, 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 hey, ooh, 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 this could be. I don't know
Do you
if
need to
this.
use the restroom? Are you all right? What's wrong?
No, no, do I need to pee? No, I'm fine. No, it's not that. I just got a note, uh, in my book, which is weird, um, to go do a magical task for, can I roll a history check on the name to see if I would recognize who it is?
Totally.
Ba, 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 ba. History check. Bonk. 10.
It's not a name you would have heard, but you've heard maybe similar names of high elf wizards that are from the Moonshade Isles. So it's kind of like it's got that kind of ring to it, maybe, but it's not a specific person that you would have heard of. And while you're doing that history check, let's say a sleight of hand check from Rock. So the closest analog I've got. Okay, that's not bad. So I'm going to presuppose that your spellbook was maybe closed. You were looking over Zyllana's shoulder, but maybe you've got one hand on your spellbook, Rock, and it's jiggling a bit. It's like bouncing a bit. If this were a modern game and that were your phone, it would be vibrating. But this is a book and it doesn't do that. But it's doing the magical equivalent of like kind of shaking a little bit.
Are you going to answer that?
Rock raises an eyebrow and just kind of like peeks in his book to see what the vibration's about.
What would be an exact language that Rock speaks?
Draconic.
Draconic. So in big like block capital letters across the front page, it's like, "Hello, you should look at your book more often."
Rock's gonna close the book for a moment and look at Zyllana confused, and then open it and see if it's still there.
That note's gone, but instead you see a kind of a shorter message than what Zyllana would report of her, saying, "Rock, as a semi-professional wizard, your unique, in heavy air quotes, skills could be useful in solving a magical task. Reward included."
Rock closes the book and looks at Zyllana. How do I know you're not pulling a trick in my spell book? Because I just got the same message. Opens it again.
It's gone. Zyllana could be playing a trick. That is true. I wouldn't put that past her.
She holds up her hands in like a I'm innocent fashion, and she goes, no tricks. That's not what I do. Okay, I kind of do that, but it's only to get myself out of bad situations, and I'm having fun talking to you, so why would I want you to leave?
Both books go again.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a call, and she'll open the book.
Rock will open his while looking at Zyllana confused and then look back in the book.
Now you both see in your respective languages in Infernal and kind of dark red fiery text, and then in Draconic and sort of big block letters. Basically, check yes to accept or no to decline. There's like two little boxes, and a similar magical pen appears next to Rock. So Zyllana, your pen was kind of silver with jade. Rock, yours looks like just a big old dragon fang carved out of a piece of obsidian, but it looks like the same color ink as what's appearing in your book. So you can either kind of tick yes or tick no.
Your name was Zyllana, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm Rock. I don't do this. He kind of points back and forth between the two of them a lot.
Uh-huh.
But I'll bite.
She looks genuinely confused for like a brief moment, and then she goes, great, and like grabs her pen and checks the yes box.
Rock looks around one last time to see if he can see Tabby watching and then checks it off.
Up to you, Taco, if you'd want Tabby to be watching for the role play or for the fun, or if you want this to be a quiet activity.
I think it'd be funny if Tabby was in the corner just like watching, like arms crossed, like go on. What do you think, Kinsey? Tabby's your character.
She would either be at the bar getting a drink, like, oh good, he's making friends, or as soon as she basically sat him down at the table, she would leave.
Okay. Rock's like, I don't. Okay. Well, fine. Check. Yes.
After you both checked, you can see, is the teleportation circle, Kenzie, on the same level or a different level?
It's outside behind the tavern. So if there was, you could have like the door open.
Okay. Actually, let's do this. Both. So the checkbox disappear. Both of you get the same message this time in common. Thank you. Thank you for your agreement on using Jenizen's interplanal instantaneous transport service. Please proceed to the highlighted route. And now there's an arrow kind of pointing from your book that kind of hovers a bit. So if you move your book around, it kind of points in a particular direction, and it's pointing towards the teleportation circle.
Perfect. Zyllana will get up and not paying attention at all to anything around her. She's like following the book's arrow and like stumbling over crap and like running into people. And there's this like a small mutter of "excuse me" from the 5'4" purple tiefling with the white tribal marks on her face as she keeps going.
Rock's not very strong, but Rock would try to steer her out of people's way while kind of like holding his book, just like, no, come on.
Make an athletics check for steer
Oh,
Zyllana.
great, because
Or no, vehicle, land vehicle.
land vehicle.
Tiefling vehicle.
Okay, what do I roll for that?
I guess there isn't a skill for that, is it?
No, there's no.
Yeah, I guess athletic.
There's no skill for maneuvering a tiefling vehicle, and I'm so great at
Dex?
athletics, you guys.
Dex?
I'm just the best.
So there's attempted guidance, but it's more like shoving into the wrong obstacles. So passing by a particularly sharp table, have a piercing damage as your knee cracks into the edge of a bar stool or a corner.
That's just great.
Yell. There's like a yell of very colorful curse words in Infernal, but she does not break her concentration from the arrow. She just keeps going.
Nice, and you can both see as you get towards the guild's teleportation circle. Once you're about 10 feet away, it lights up. There's a whatever. Actually, you two would both know. So, what does it look like as the teleportation circle is active? What are the typical effects?
It's
glowing.
Yeah, it's glowing, but it's got like it kind of depends on who's sending for it. So like when it's Delric, there's a bunch of greens and blues and purples and like little tiny like symbols of a bottle floating around because he's in charge of potions and lotions. So when he's activating or sending from the teleportation circle, like when it's his power that's doing it, it's blues and purples and greens and little tiny like floating ethereal bottles floating around in the space over the teleportation circle.
Okay, so it's tuned to different folks. So let's say this version looks slightly generic. So it's just kind of a plain white light, kind of like if IKEA did magic teleportation circles, like very very sensible and bland and utilitarian.
Very elvish. I see.
Exactly. And as you both step into it, so the first image I've got here is kind of the general aesthetic of where you would land in the middle there. So this would be your characters. With Jenizen there having summoned you into a teleportation circle. There's a moon dappled pond behind you with floating lotus blossoms on it, and you're standing in the middle of this kind of magic shape, this magic star, I guess we can call it. Do you want to make a roll as you exit teleportation circle, like perception or history to check these logos, or like a charisma to be looking presentable? Any roll you want to make as you're exiting the teleportation circle.
Zyllana would do maybe either a history to try to read the symbols.
Cool. History from Zyllana and perception from Rock. That works.
No, actually, I can do history as well because I'm actually good at that.
Okay.
Ooh. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
History team.
Yes. So let's do this. They don't have super specific deep lore for Jenizen. As you guys are conversing, you recognize enough from the iconography and the color use in this particular teleportation star that you could insert like a historical reference or anecdote that would help you build rapport with Jenizen. Does that make sense? So you each know a bit of trivia about this flavor of elvish teleportation magic. And Jenizen, who looks like this, so that's her. She says hello and welcome, and she claps her hand, and two unseen servants that are draped in kind of fine silk cloth come forward with trays of snacks and drinks. I hear you have both been looking for additional magical secrets to expand your less than impressive wizard books. Is that correct?
Yes, very much so. Oh, thank you. Oh, cookies. And Zyllana will like grab like a giant handful of cookies and stuff like half of them in her mouth.
Nice.
Rock will nod and take a cookie and some tea.
Lady Jenizen takes some as well, and then says, "Welcome to the Arcanum. I am responsible for codifying and documenting and keeping track of the magical parameters of most of the spells that we'll find within this side of the multiverse. But and I should say, also conduct spell research. And you don't need an insight roll to know that spell research is kind of like mad scientist flavor a little bit. Research, it's fine. And one of my recent experiments has gone a little different than expected. So if you are able to, let's say, rein it in, I would happily give you a perusal to my archives to copy an additional spell or two into your book.
Ooh. So you've got a little buddy that's running amok that we just need to hunker down for you. Is that it?
Exactly, just a little sage, just a small little creature. No enchantments to worry about. Just a thing.
A thing.
It's a thing.
I can help with a thing. Rock, do you want to help with a thing? And she'll like look up to the point that she's almost like leaning back because he's a good 2.5 foot taller than her.
It's more like probably almost 3 because he's 7'2" and you're like 4 foot something.
5'4".
Okay, sorry. All right, got it.
Yep, almost.
Looks down at you with like your big, baleful, black, soulless eyes and just goes, "Okay."
Big smile. Big white smile.
Are you too familiar with the Find Familiar spell?
Yes.
Rock's ears kind of perk up. Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought it's such a mundane and plain spell. Perhaps I would spice it up by splicing it with, other kinds of spells, so that rather than just being a creature, you could have a manifestation of a fireball, or of invisibility, or of, cloud of daggers as your accompanying familiar. But unfortunately, in trying to create animate spells, I made animate spells, and now they're running amok in the Southwest Garden. So it's a combination of Find Familiar, Enlarge, Reduce, Fly, and maybe one or two more spells that have kind of fused into this. It's a thing. It's a thing. But it seems to reject my magical influence to try to contain it. So your talents would be useful if possible.
So you're enchanting spells with other spells?
Yes, of course. Make an insight check here.
Okay.
You can both make that about her assertion that, of course, it's what she's doing.
Oh, Zyllana's like way too excited. Yes! Thank you for being the opposite.
Yay, that's awesome. A crit. Both crits. So, Rock, you find it slightly alarming at how normal Jenizen is passing it out. That is not a normal thing to do. Like, that's kind of mad wizard level of like, don't try to cast 2 spells at once or like fuse them unless you're some kind of crazy sorcerer. Who deals with that? They're not real mages anyway. So the normalcy with which she is combining spell scrolls just tells you like how wide ranging her experiments are.
Uh-huh.
Well,
So you're combining spells.
well, yes, quite naturally. Yes. How else do we come up with new spells? I mean, there's Bigby's hand and Mordenkainen's hounds, and there's not yet Jenizen's. Well, never mind. Anyways, yes, if it benefits all of magic kind for new spells to be created. And the best way is to overlay spells together and try to cast them simultaneously. Isn't that amazing?
Yes!
And let's have her roll deception.
He blinks and goes, "I believe your definition of the word might be one that's incredibly out of date."
Moving on. Stealing from Miss Birdie there. No, I'm just kidding. do you require any preparation or support before I show you to the South Garden to find the thing?
It's just a singular thing? Zyllana holds up
Yes,
one finger.
my past familiar had been a small bird, so in combining find familiar with fly, it made, perhaps a slightly larger bird. But yes, it is a bird. I should have led with that. You're catching a magical bird. It's just a normal bird. It's fine.
If it's as normal as your experiments, we're in for quite a treat.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited.
Exactly, yes.
You are just a ball of optimism, Zyllana.
Uh-huh.
And as a fellow enchanter, it doesn't perturb you in the slightest that she's mashing spells together to create more spells?
No, but I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, we would never progress if we didn't actually try to take steps forward.
Why not just stick with what is, I don't know, available?
Because at one time, those were not available. And people like her, she'll point to Jenizen, but people like her made those available because they were willing to take risks.
Rock is going to look at you and just kind of pat your head.
Thud, thud, thud.
What's it like being so glaringly hopeful about the world around you?
You have to experience true darkness in order to be this hopeful.
Aw.
And then she
Rock's gonna go from awkward pat to like gentle rub.
As she's escorting you to the South Garden, Jenizen says, "Oh, you might need these," and she gives you each kind of a small wand, saying, "If you channel one or more levels of your magical spell energy through this rod, and can get close enough to, the small bird, it will help revert it from its animate form back into spell scroll form. The closer you can get, the more likely you can unentangle the magics and bring it back to its original form."
Close, zap it with this wand, turns back to normal.
Right, and of course you may need to, I don't know, contain or soften up first to get close, but it's just a bird, so this should be fine. This is fine.
Yeah, it's just a bird. It's fine. It's fine. Right, Rock? It'll be fine.
Mechanically, as players, you've got your full abilities and spells to deal with Verb. And if you want, as an action, you can expend any number of spell slots you want, per according to your caster level, to channel into this rod and direct it basically as a beam. So you'd make like a ranged spell attack with a range of 50 on whatever it is, and if it hits, then it can help strip away some of the magic. Because we've got, as I mentioned, several spells overlap together. So contain or damage and then get close enough to use these rods is kind of the structure. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Okay.
Sweet. And Zyllana has her unseen servants. Not Zyllana, you're Zyllana. Jenizen has her unseen servants take away the trays of refreshments as she retreats back to the magic and says, "Good luck. If you need me, I'll be in the conservatory." And she closes the door behind you. And you both look out over the South Garden. Let's have you both make a perception check to see what you can see.
Zyllana's squinting so hard, her eyes are practically shut.
Can I say?
It's so dark out there.
Can I say with that high perception that Zyllana's not even looking in the right direction? Rock just kind of turns her head.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh, sorry, I was still looking at the door.
South is that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see on the horizon, so it is not as big as this. This is in the distance. You see, a small bird looming over in nearby town. So it's maybe a mile or so away. So the South Garden is actually more of a large sort of field and tended forest. So other than the small town you can see beneath the beak of the bird, it's pretty much open grassland and forest between you and the bird. It has not noticed you because you are tiny little specks in the distance. What would you like to do?
Rock sees Zyllana staring at the door and is looking at the giant bird, and then turns her head and goes and points. Look, the tiny bird.
Oh. Hey, Rock, that's not tiny.
I know. It was my attempt at sarcasm.
Roll
Oh.
sarcasm. No.
I've never been good at that. I'm sorry.
It's okay, neither have I.
It's okay.
I don't think I'll do it again.
Do we want to try to bring it over here? Because it looks like it could end up destroying the town.
I think that's wise. Do we have anything? Okay, so Rock would know you're a cleric, right?
Yeah. You would have seen cleric spells in the spell book, despite the fact that she doesn't actually need to write them down.
Zyllana,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea, but have thaumaturgy in the back pocket to yell at it, because I don't think it's good if it kills the whole town.
I don't have that, but I have something else.
What do you have besides thaumaturgy?
I can clap really loud. Can you clap really loud?
I can breathe ice and fire.
You don't know how to clap very. Oh, okay. How far away did you say we are from the bird?
About a mile.
About a mile. Okay. Yeah, I can only clap real loud.
Let me. Rock goes through his spell books. It's just mostly me having not played him in a while. I can run us over there if you want with expeditious retreat.
Hey, I can run over there too. You want to race?
Rock shrugs. I'll bite.
Okay. Okay, you're ready. Ready? So
Ready.
cast it on yourself in 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice. Zyllana gets a slightly faster start, but it's an intense pursuit. You guys are dashing over the next couple of minutes towards the giant bird. Any actions you want to take en route? Let's see if the bird notices you. You're just a little specs running, so probably not.
Mage armor.
Oh yeah, good call.
Oh, bird has not noticed you yet.
When we get about 100 feet away, if we're in like an open field further away from the town, she would pull herself to a stop and
Okay.
shout at Rock to stop.
Rock will stop.
All right.
Bird just bit off this tree and it's chomping on a tree. Chomp, 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 chomp.
How about here? We can get it away from the town, but we've got some openness to fight.
Rock nods, and Rock is going to go behind a tree and stealth.
Okay. You have advantage because you are very, very small compared to this very large bird. I mean, 19. Yes, you were hidden. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll take 19.
All right. Well, just so you know, it is eating trees, so be careful. And Zyllana will pull out her wand as her arcane focus for both her cleric abilities and her wizarding abilities, and she will clap her hands, holding the wand in between each hands, and start muttering softly to herself, and then pull her hands apart as the wand's floating in the middle, and then she will slap her hands together and cast Thunderclap forward towards the bird.
Okay.
I'm not doing it for damage or anything like that because it only reaches 5 feet, but I am doing it for the
Haybird.
for the 100-foot Haybird call.
Okay. Let's say make me an Arcana check for your degree of skill with Haybird on Thunderclap.
10.
10. Let's see. Does bird notice? The bird totally notices. Bird looks over. What does bird think of you? As food or as well? Let's have bird make intelligence check. So the bird takes a couple By that I mean 2 lumbering steps towards you, kathump, kathump, which makes the trees shake and quake. You can both make, let's say, perception checks as it gets closer.
Can I make a dexterity saving throw to make sure Zyllana stays on her feet because she is inherently clumsy?
Oh, sure, yes.
15.
Yes, you remain upright. So with the 16 rock, you don't notice anything in particular. The 22, Zyllana does notice just at the base of one of the wings, there's a little wound there. Looks like the burb is a little bit hurt. And to both of you, it's quite obvious from kind of different ways the bird is glowing that there are several spells that are kind of fighting for dominance over this creature. It's kind of unsure. It's an amalgam, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, the bird is now, let's say, 50 feet from you, Zyllana. And it's going to screech very loudly in your direction. It's going to try to out thunderclap your thunderclap with its screechiness.
Thunder
Let's have you
screech.
both make wisdom saving throws for sound.
Oh boy, I'm taking that 7 because, oh god, either way, Rock is not equipped for this.
But there's a little bit of sonic damage isn't in D&D anymore, so I'll call it thunder damage. So we have, oh wow, 8 thunder damage for Rock, but only 4 for Zyllana.
Got it.
So it's not like it's trying to attack you. It's just it's sizing you up and barked at you very loudly. What do you guys want to do?
Can Rock from his hiding place? About how far away am I?
You're about 50 feet now.
Okay. Rock is going to Ray of Frost it.
Okay. You have advantage though because you're hidden.
Okay. I'll try that again. I hope this is better than my 3.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not. If anything, it's worse.
So your ray of frost kind of shoot out towards the bird's legs, but do not connect. It swivels towards you, and kind of is tilting its head sideways at you, like, what is that? That made a weird thing. And it's kind of fluffing its feathers. Let's have Kenzie do an action, then we'll do initiative. Since you did a thing, let's have Kenzie do a thing. That's fair.
Perfect. So Zyllana's going to shout, aim for the soar, and then she's going to realize as the shot goes off that he may not actually know where the injury is, and she's going to cast Guiding Bolt at level 1 with a natural 20. And she's aiming for the soar because she wanted to try to help Rock
gonna hit
it. Holy crap.
Nice. Let's see, and I got a 12 for Burp Friend. So yeah, go ahead and add your initiative as well, Kenzie.
Oh, you bet.
That's 29 damage total. Am I mathing that right?
29, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sweet. So come on, number lock. I'm going first with the 12. That's outstanding. Okay, you're great at this.
We are wizards, so
We are
wizards.
wizards.
Got some slack.
Initiative
On
is
that
not
note,
our best.
how much does mage armor add to my armor class of 12?
1.
16.
Okay, not a 16 then.
Let me double check. I think it just makes your 18 no less than 16.
I think it's. Hold on. I don't have mage armor. I think it's minimum of
mage armor.
13.
13 plus dex.
13 plus dex.
Yeah, 13 plus dex mod.
Cool, so a whole 15.
You're higher than Zyllana.
Hooray, much better. So the bird is kind of pivoting between the two of you, wondering which is either tastier, more of a threat. Raises its head up and screeches again, though not as loudly. And then from the tips of its feathers, you see little motes of flame starting to burn. And a whole cloud of small rays of fire energy shoot out towards you. So this is kind of like a scorching ray, but not quite as, not exactly. It's in that same ballpark. So you're each getting 2 of whatever these are. So R2d20 on Zyllana. I'm assuming a 12 misses you, but a 20 plus will hit.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be 2 misses. Yes, because your AC, as we now know, is 15. So that's 2 misses on Rock. But have some fire damage. 15 fire damage to Zyllana.
Fun fact, she is a tiefling.
Oh, so resistance or immunity?
Resistance. So 7 rounded down.
7. That is exactly it. So yes, that was some scorching feathers that got flown at you from Burb. What is Rock going to do about that?
Fire. Okay. What's my move here? Let's go with breath weapon. It's about 15 feet away.
50.
Okay, 50. Okay, so in that case, save the breath weapon. And let's go with let's test this out and see where it stands. Rock is going to do Mind Thrust. It needs to make an intelligence saving throw, DC. What is my spell? Oh, yeah, my spell.
9.
Okay, that fails. The DC 13 save, so 3d6 damage.
Nice. Roll it out, and this is psychic damage, right?
Yeah, it was already rolled with it, and on a failed save, the target takes psychic damage, and it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. It gets only one of the 3.
Ooh, interesting. That's very cool. Okay, that absolutely is effective.
Rock's gonna thrust into its mind, look at Zyllana, and go, make it work.
Make me an Arcana check since you're thrusting into its mind as well. Let's see if you get some information. Yeah, it seems like the base spell here was Find Familiar as a burb, and there's definitely Enlarge Reduced, and maybe, some Fly, because it's flying really well, and probably something else. At least 3 different spells that are kind of like warped together here.
Rock is gonna look at Zyllana and go, Enlarge, Reduce, Fly, Find Familiar, other variables. This is a combination of a lot of spells. A lot of spells.
Zyllana, what are you doing?
Zyllana's gonna nod in agreement, and then as a bonus action, she's gonna point at the bird and cast Spiritual Weapon.
Is it 26 hits for 6 force damage? Is that right?
Yes, and her Spiritual Weapon is a pineapple.
That's right. I forgot.
Whack, whack, whack
I'm
me a
so
pineapple.
glad.
Under the sea.
I'm so glad it's a pineapple. I'm so glad that I one day joked. It's like, I need a spiritual weapon. Here's a pineapple. I'll go with it. Seriously.
Yep. Zyllana uses a pineapple as a spiritual weapon. So she whacks it.
That's awesome.
For that. And then for her action, feeling like it roared at her, she's not going to attack it, but she does want to get it away from the city, so she's going to thunder roar back at it. Thunderclap roar back at it.
Okay.
She can't hit it. It's not within 5 feet. It's just to try to draw it further away from the town.
Okay. Now, Katie, remind me, with Mind Thrust, I can either move or act, but not both, right?
You can get an action, a reaction, or a movement in, but not all 3.
Oh, so okay, 2 of the 3. Got it. Then yeah, it'll take a step or 2 closer to you, Zyllana, with your thunderclap, because clearly you seem to be either magical or tasty, and it's getting closer. On its turn, it's going to beat both its wings furiously, kind of in your.
It only gets one. It only gets one. It gets an action, a reaction, or a movement. It took a movement. That's all it can do.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then never mind. Rather than move, it'll just flap its wings. Okay, so it's still just as far away, but it's definitely got its attention focused on both of you. Sorry, I misunderstood that, Katie. Flapping wings. Let's have you both make strength saving throws as it flaps its wings at you. It's trying to blow you off the ground.
Oh God.
Flappa flappa. I'm gonna use because I put this on Zyllana for reasons in this situation. I'm gonna use lucky and I'm gonna re-roll my my 4. No, I'll take the 4. I don't want her to break a leg.
Looking back at when the lady asked us if we needed anything, we should have said, I don't know, some muscle.
Potions. Health potions.
Exactly.
Because I can heal. And if I go down, you're screwed.
Yeah, probably.
You hear from the balcony way behind you in the south garden, someone say, "You're doing great!" And the sound of probably crunching popcorn. Both blown high up in the air. So it's kind of a gust of wind that pushes you more straight up than back, really, which is kind of odd. Let's have you both make Arcana checks as well.
25.
That's good. That's good for Zyllana. And how about for Rock? Oh, wow, this is lucky. So,
yes!
So this is a manifestation of the fly spell from within this creature. So though it was an attack to and hostile, on your turn, as a bonus action, you can try to wrest control of this magic and fly rather than fall. So at this point, you're about, let's say, 100 feet up in the air. So on your turn, you can just fall if you want. That's fine. Totally free action to fall. But if you want to use a bonus action to try to fight this fly magic to do something else with your movement, you can do so. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so Rock, you're 100 feet up in the air. Hey.
I'll do what you said to not fall down to my death.
Okay, bonus action Arcana check. You need to beat a 10.
Beat a 10. Got it. Come on, Rock.
Come on. What?
Oof. Let's say you fall half as much. So
Okay.
instead of falling, how far do you fall around? I guess 10 feet? Does that seem reasonable? There's probably rules for that. Do you know the rules for how fast you fall, Mackenzie?
I don't, but if I can, I would like to reaction cast Featherfall on both of us.
You totally can. Yes. Okay.
Bless your heart.
Okay. Okay. So you fall like not even a foot. The option to try to actively control your flight is still available to you as a bonus action for future turns, but for now you fell a little bit in a gently feathered fashion. It's a good spell.
It's a good
What
spell.
about for your action?
How close am I to the bird now?
Let's say about 30, 35 feet. So you're actually closer to it since you're up in the air.
Okay, I think I already did that. All right. I'm just gonna reread over Mind Thrust because I'm. Let me see. Okay. I just want to know how long it lasts. It only lasts for one round. Got it. So.
It's a good spell.
Rock's gonna yell at Zyllana. Should I do it again?
Yeah, do it again. She's like focusing on the fact that they're like falling in the air.
DC 13 intelligence saving throw.
Ta-da! I got a 6. So that's a fail for 10 more damage. Let's see here. RD20. Oh, cool. And you see, as the Mind Thrust takes effect, you see the I'll say the construct in front of you start to flicker and waver a little bit, and a single piece of vellum kind of shoots out of its body. The whole thing seems to shrink a little bit. It's kind of like a little line of light that appears to be whoopsies. Spell scroll shoots forward, and now the wingtips are no longer on fire. It looks like one of the spells has kind of unmerged from having taken lots of damage.
Rock's going to yell out to Zyllana. Am I all the way down here? Can I move? Can I Can I move up closer to Zyllana? Okay. Rock will look at Zyllana and go, hit it hard, spell scrolls fly out of it. Let's bring this to shipment.
Got it.
And it's Zyllana's turn.
Awesome. I'd like to do the bonus action Arcana check to try to control the fly.
Okie doke.
19.
The 19, not only do you not fall at all, but you basically have the effects of the fly spell for this round.
Awesome. How much movement do I have?
Whatever your walking speed is, you have it in fly speed.
Okay. I know this map isn't particularly to scale, but can Zyllana get to the soar?
Yes, I think that is fine.
Okay. So Zyllana's like, okay, heard it, got it, boop, and she's going to fly to the bird, smash against it, stick her hand inside of the wound, and she's going to cast, inflict wounds at level 3.
Oh,
Ooh,
damn.
okay.
And then
Bam,
I'm gonna
bam.
use a luck to re-roll that. +7. Ah! That's horrible.
9. Is that the base 9 or is that the... Oh, it's a 2 plus 7.
2 + 7, and then I rolled a 3 + 7.
Got a 3 and a 2. That is awful luck. Let's say since it's inside, it'll do half damage. So it's like
Okay.
you've inserted the inflicting should be inside his body.
Don't forget about your pineapple.
I can't because I used my bonus action for controlling the flight,
Okay.
and now I'm clinging onto this bird.
Make some kind of saving throw. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's bad for the bird, but also maybe bad for you. So there's another mote of light. This one in a different color. Let's be fair. Kenzie, roll a d4. Don't get a 3.
I got a 4.
Okay, good. So the fly part of this combination is still up, which is great.
Oh.
The part that came out was actually okay, you don't know yet. So yeah, a green mode of energy flies away from the burb, and you can sense it's kind of lost another one of the scrolls that's in it. And that was your turn, Zyllana. So burb is next. Then mind thrust, so he can move or act. Probably try to get you off its wing.
Wait a second, I have
How
a
would you do
question.
that?
What
Yes.
that save a reaction?
The save?
Oh, was it a reaction? Not as written, but I think it kind of makes sense. So yes, in which case there's nothing else. Burb will just flap uselessly because its mind has been thrust. Burb is kind of dumb and confused. So let's do.
Poor bird.
Let's do. There we go. It's got the Japan googly eyes.
Okay. Rock watching Zyllana just like shove her hands into the bird. How close can I get to the birds?
Do
Is
you want to do
there-
your bonus action to take active control of fly?
Sure, I'll
Do
take
it.
active control play as my bonus action.
Do it. Arcana. Yes.
Nice. So yes, you gain a fly speed equal to your walk speed. So you can get as close as you want. Really, you can get and touch it if you want.
Okay, so I don't know how far I can move because Kinsey said that this map wasn't to scale. So how far could Rock move to get close to Zyllana or the pineapple?
If you get either to the pineapple or to Zyllana. Yeah.
Rock is going to get up next to Zyllana, who is like actively like touching the bird and trying to inflict wounds on it. And Rock is
She's
Go
up to
ahead.
like her shoulder inside this bird.
Rock is going to, at a safe distance from Zyllana, also touch the bird. To show kind of like this is the only time you'll ever see Rock be kind of smug because Rock's gonna, as the Silver Dragonborn, just what?
Nice.
DC 13 deck save.
Nope, I've gotten 11. I have gotten crap saves.
So
8
it
damage,
does
is that
the
right?
full 8. Yeah, 8 damage. Oh, actually, yeah, no, it does 8 damage. And The fire ignites any flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. So if there's anything there, anything to burn. So Rock just touches the burn and just kind of sets it on fire a little bit and looks at Zyllana.
Burning bird. Burning bird is not happy about its lot in life. It's going to shriek loudly in pain again. Let's have you both make wisdom saving throws for that sonic damage.
Is that a reaction?
15.
Yes, and actually, I guess it spent its reaction. I guess it can't do that.
No, it cannot.
It,
Zyllana, it's your... Oh, go ahead.
I think it can because it only lasts one turn and it already had its turn, right?
Okay, that's true, I think.
Screeches, but not in a stat way, just in a narrative way. Let's say that. You both have good
Yes.
saves anyway. So loud screech, kind of death knell screech actually. So having taken that last little bit of burning damage, you see as the body of the bird is burning that some of it's actually kind of paper a little bit. You see a few more kind of lines of energy shooting off from it in various directions, and one more. And the whole thing kind of collapses into a small cloud, then shapes itself into a very small bird, just like an ordinary kind of plain white dove looking thing, that coos at you both and then disappears in a pop, as you see, some small spell scrolls flying back towards the balcony of the south garden. And thankfully, since you're both feather falling, the fact that you're so high up doesn't actually matter. And as Jenizen is kind of applauding your fantastical success in dealing with the thing, she'll cast some power techniques as well and kind of do some gust of wind so you don't just fall straight down with featherfall, but you're kind of like, ooh, wafting on gentle breeze back towards a balcony with refreshments.
And panting.
And panting. Right. It was marvelous, you two. It's such a good show and so helpful too. And you can see, and she's got a pile of spell scrolls in front of her. Those are the base components. So as reward, you can take these. I'll even throw in the resources to copy them into your books. So we have a find familiar, we have a fly, we have an enlarge reduce, and a scorching ray. So you can each have 2.
Yay!
All right.
There we are. That's the adventure, folks. So Jenizen would see you back to the teleportation portal, unless you wanted to stay the night and have more snacks. Yeah, that's the idea. Taking spells that the wizard would want and craft them into a quote problem that then you can help Jenizen solve.
Yay!
So what were the 2 spells that I got and the 2 spells that you got?
I got.
I'll post them in chat. So Mackenzie, you get enlarge, reduce, and scorch ray. So find famil and fly.
Enlarge, reduce, learn.
Yeah.
Scorching ray, learn.
For bonus points, do you know what anime I borrowed these graphics from?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, the bird
Great,
looks
that means
so
I can-
familiar.
I can dive into this and folks don't know the references. Haha, I can steal fairly liberally from this. Excellent.
Wonderful.
It's helpful the players don't know what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Michael, thank you so much for running this for Katie and I. I had fun. Katie, I hope you had fun too.
Yeah, it was fun. I was nervous there'd be a lot more than there actually was, but it's just like, oh, just sit on fire, just watch it go.
Thank God. This was super clever. This was really fun. Thank you for helping 2 wizards extend their spell book a little more. And yeah, this is great. So let's all say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. Happy dungeon delving, everyone. And because of the time frame that we are recording this, may you have a happy, safe holiday and New Year.
Yay.
Yay! Bye.
Thank you both for playing, and we'll do more fun stuff soon.
Yay!